Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. There I am. Let me see if I can find the live feed. I've been here, I'm rearranging the museum. Is that it? Yeah. So today is Saturday. March 15th, halfway through the month. Saturday, morning, March 15th. Okay. And I'm going to share it to the public and to memories and live videos. Okay, here we go. We're eating at Jason's Deli out off Northwest Loop 820. Trying to think what else is going on. Emma Jean's in, Brittany's in. So to raise funds to keep all of this going, I'm selling 3 or 4 pieces of my Buck Taylor collection. This piece I'm going to show you is unbelievable. It's signed, dated. It's listed on the group right now. Well, I need to get rid of that. That piece in the corner. Looking for photos. And it's framed. That frame is probably several $100. But on the back, it's the light is what you see running across 2 of those photos. You can go on the main group and see it. That's all the major players. Buck drew those, and then on the back he signed it. Trying to see what it said. It was 2016 when I bought it. I've got a bunch of his originals. These aren't prints. These aren't $30, $40 deals. You want a piece of history that you can pass down in your family, you're looking at it. Of course, Buck and I are old friends. We go way back. He's been in all of the museums. So I took a picture of the back, and it says Larry, tombstone lives on. Creek Johnson, that's who he played in the movie Tombstone. Your friend, I don't know what that says, but it's signed by Buck Taylor, 2016. Your friend, you can't hardly read his writing. His signature is all the same. Anyway, So if you're interested in a piece that's one of the most iconic pieces you'll see, especially from he did it because he was in the movie Tombstone. So if you're interested, give me a holler. It won't last long. In fact, I've already had 3 people tell me, people that have been in the museum that have seen the pieces that are here. I've got Tombstone. I've got a real large one that is, it's just styled Gunsmoke, and it has Buck walking in the saloon, Miss Kitty, Doc, James. Who was James is Arness. Who was the bartender? What was his name? I forget. Somebody help me out. Who was the bartender on Gunsmoke? He's in it. That was yesterday. This is today. Okay. Who's first to the plate? Larry, Brittany, Bill, Sam. Wasn't it Sam? Yeah, Sam's the bartender. I can hear Amanda Blake calling me now. Yeah, Sam, get us another round or something. So that's a real piece of history. It's signed on the back, dated. Like I say, this isn't a print. This isn't a $200 or $300 deal. And it's a one of a kind. All of his stuff are one of a kind. I've got Tombstone, I've got Gunsmoke, and I've got Wagon Train. That Wagon Train is pretty neat also. So those 3 pieces are on the chopping block. They're really not Fort Worth, you know. I just had them here in the museum, but I've been buying artwork from Buck for 20, 30 years. That's really a unique piece. There's Curly Bill Brocious. There's Buck. There's White. There's Doc. And the other one next to Doc he was White's brother. And then Johnny Ringo. Really, you know, Johnny Ringo ended up having he got about as much notoriety as Kurt Russell. Especially with that one where he pulls his guns out and does all the fancy twirling, then he puts his guns back, or his gun, and then Val Kilmer does it with a shot cup or something. That was a great movie. I still watch it. So I guess all of those guys are still alive, aren't they? Buck's the last one of Gunsmoke, though. If you want to treat yourself to a Christmas present, early Christmas present, these 3 pieces in the museum are the ticket. Like I say, and I've got a bunch at home. Those 2, you can see the fluorescent tubes. So but they have those professionally mounted and framed from a person outside of Dallas. I've actually been over there with them before to pick up artwork. So if you're interested, message me. Okay, what else? We're eating at Jason's Deli. They've got a salad bar. You can get soup. You can get a sandwich, and they got plenty of room. The only parking problem for me ever out there is it's the parking. It's kind of all crunched up. It's across, it's off 820 where you exit for the knife place. I can't never remember. I would go home that way every day. And it's actually across the street from the IHOP that burned out there. Okay, so let's do our sponsors. Winstead Paint and Body, Clay Winstead. I've been using them for 40 years. When Clay was still in school, his daddy was running it. Scott is our IT director. He makes websites, does consultation for technical stuff. He knows his stuff. Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team at Fort Worth Florist did a tremendous job at Valentine's Day. We got a lot of good reviews, 5-star reviews. So if you need to send flowers for a wedding, funeral, just to send flowers, whatever, your girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, call 817-244-2345. Come on, Internet, what's the deal? Alpha Design and Build, that's Lance Sanders. They do remodeling, or they do commercial and residential. They'll add a second story to your house or to your building, or they'll just add carpet to it, whatever you need done. All you need to do is call Lance, 817-229-1546. You have to initiate the call to find out what it'll cost. Phelps Family Auto Care, that's Mike Phelps and his family. They're all involved, and they've got a good group of technicians. I've never heard anything negative about Phelps Family Auto Care, nothing. They're in the Burleson area. In fact, he told me a few months ago that he's thinking about opening another one in the Burleson area. He's well respected out there. G2 Garage, that's Chris and his team, another family-owned business. They're in the White Settlement area, and we've had several members use them, and all have given good reviews. His name is Chris. Stroud Auto Supply, Danny Stroud and his wife, they're second generation, Danny is. I know because I bought auto parts over there 45 years ago, and I don't believe Danny was running it then, it was his dad. They're in the Holcomb City, Riverside area. Schwartz and Hanson are architects. They're sponsors on our group. They're very active in the bike giveaway. They've come by, we do interviews, they come by and just talk history. Jerry Schwartz. Okay, Casey Crawl. These are the folks I've been telling all y'all about. Medicare and Medicaid, don't try to figure it all out and drive you crazy. Get a hold of Casey Crawl and they'll meet you at their place, your place, in between, at a restaurant, wherever, but they know the answers. The internet's moving slow. Rex's Bar and Grill, 1500 block of South University Drive. That might be the premier sports bar in Texas. It is fancy dancy. Rex Benson is a very good friend of mine. I've known his family since the 60s. They own that. Rex owns another restaurant on that same parking lot. It's called Old South Pancake House. 24/7 at that one. Rains Plumbing. I always want to say Rains Family Plumbing because it is a family-owned business and they really get to know their customers. They do a good job. They follow up. It's a good company. If you need plumbing issues, call Rains. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is our state rep. He is a member of the board of directors of Larry's Kids. He owns Railhead Barbecue. His brother is Pete Guerin, and he runs the Sid Richardson Foundation, and they gave us $5,000 for the bicycle giveaway last year. Charlie brought in almost as much money as I did. I brought in the most, Charlie brought in the second. Good people. Okay. Passport getaways. If you want to take a cruise or have a family reunion and meet up in Vegas for July or August or next year, let these folks at Passport Getaways do all the planning for you, get back with you, give you all the arrangements. You okay it, and all you got to do then is supply the money and then take your trip. Optimist Club of Fort Worth. Jeff Norman heads the one up in this particular Optimist Club in Fort Worth. There's several. They do all kinds of good things for our youth, mostly athletic stuff. They are there, Johnny on the spot. They also they provide Fort Worth Memories Museum a Christmas tree every year. They sell Christmas trees at the Farrington Field on the university side. We give away bicycles on the back side, the Lancaster Street side. So we've been partners with Optimist Club International for many years. They're much appreciated and they do a great job. Jenny Stewart, State Farm Insurance. If you're not using State Farm or Jenny, call her team and get a quote. I've told several people and they've told me that they've saved money. I just had a lady that called me and said she was using Farmers and she switched to Jenny and saved $53 a month. Well, that's $700 or $800 or $600 at the end of the year. You can do something with $600. There's Old South Pancake House. That's another Rex Benson owned company. They've been in the Benson family's owned it since 1962. Rex's daddy had lots of restaurants. Japanese Palace, the Town Pump, Lone Star Drive-Ins. I can't think of all the restaurants he had, but he had a bunch. I knew him. I did a little work for him. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross. That's another family-owned business. They're great electricians, so if you got an electrical problem, don't mess with it yourself because you'll possibly electrocute yourself. It kind of happened to me about 10 or 15 years ago, and I quit messing with it. They were also nominated for DFW's favorites, and we had a bunch of people vote for them. Speaking of voting, we need everybody voting for Major League Baseball, Globe Life Field. When I get through this afternoon, I will non-stop vote all the way through tomorrow evening. We've got a lot of speed voters lined up that are going to vote several thousand times in the next 2 or 3 days, and I hope that's enough to get us across the finish line. When they still had the leaderboard up, we were in 4th place. We moved us from 18th to 4th. So y'all help us out. Got to have your help. K Ranch Roofing. That's Jorge Hernandez. They're our roofing sponsor. They do a tremendous job. They've done a lot of jobs for Fort Worth Memories members. If you think with all this wind damage, and I promise you there's been wind damage, don't try to get a ladder and climb up there and see if you can figure it out, because you can't, number one. Call one of those 2 numbers and you'll get Bree. Bree is the office manager, and she will set you up an appointment to have either Jorge or one of their expert roofers come out and talk to you, check your roof out, go over everything. You might have a clean bill of health, you don't know, but it's worth checking out. You have to make the call though. Fort Worth Lumber. They have been with me forever, since I've been on Facebook, I guess. Not that long, but they've been sponsors and very generous on their bike giveaway for many, many, many years. They're on the South Freeway 35. If you need building materials, plans, you just want to come by and pick their brains, see if they can help you, all you got to do is drive over there. Grateful for your trees. That's Dickie Carr's company. Dickie is Richard Carr's nephew, and this man does everything to do with trees. He does landscape, fence, all types of haul off, demolition, sells firewood, arborist, bobcat work, flower beds, retaining walls. He does everything you can do with trees. So if you need trees trimmed, cut down, stumps ground down, Dickie Carr can do it. And you always, when you're doing business with any of our sponsors, be sure and tell them Larry O'Neill sent me. You don't even have to use my last name. Just tell them Larry sent you. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. I've been knowing the Coburns since the 60s. Otha, who was Gary's dad, Steve's dad. Now it's down to Steve. Steve's dad's still alive, but Steve runs it. And they just finished a fabulous run at the stock show. I don't know how he keeps all that stuff going. I've been over to his office several times. But they've been on North Main there since 1946. They used to have a cafeteria there. When I was a kid, I was working at one of my uncle's plants over there on the other side of North Main, and I used to eat over there. You could go through that cafeteria line. It was $2.90 or $3.90, and that got you everything. You know, you only got to go through once, but of course that was in the 60s. Prices have gone up a little bit since then. Okay, we're moving right along to Burt Ladner Real Estate. Our friend, fellow member, also a board member on Larry's Kids, Wes Williams. If you see him on the street, you won't recognize him, how much weight he's lost. And that's happened twice since I've known Wes. Many, many years ago, he pulled up when I was at 2713 West 5th, so that goes back to the 90s. He pulled up and said, "Hey, pal, what are you doing?" Yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting there trying to think, who in the heck is this guy? And he said, "Can you do my truck?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I said, "No, sir." And he said, "Wes." I said, "Wes Williams?" He said, "Yeah." And he was doing that Harris Fast or whatever that was back in, drinking those shakes, I think. But, you know, like everything, it didn't work, and he gained the weight back. But he's lost again, and I guarantee you he's kept it off for a long time now. So if you're buying a house, selling a house, whatever, Wes is your guy. Tell him Larry sent you. We got another real good friend of ours, also on the board at Larry's Kids. Real estate, does lots of great stuff for our community. Family man. What more can I say about Eric Walsh? Good guy. When I was putting the board together for Larry's Kids, I purposely put people on there that knew people that could get us bikes or money. Or if they couldn't get somebody, that they could write a check. And so I didn't have anybody. One person called me and said, "Hey, I want on that board. This is Eric Walsh." And I said, "You're in, brother." And he immediately started bringing us lots of money for bikes. Eric's a good guy. His brother-in-law, who's no longer with us, John Green, was a good friend of mine. I miss John every week. He was always had a great attitude. Okay, Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. Right now, with spring break here, you can take the kids, the grandkids, whatever. About an hour's drive from here, off 20, you take Millsap exit. She got about 180 acres down there on the Brazos. You go horseback riding for 2 hours for $75. Where are you going to beat that? Get out of the city, live in the country, you'll love it. When we moved out of the city and into the country, never go back. So that is our lineup for our sponsors. We're working every day to try to get, we need a paint contractor. I don't know what it takes to get a paint contractor. because we've got a huge group. I advertise for you every day, several times a day. There's nowhere in the Metroplex that you can get the coverage that I give you, and especially for the price. And we only do one per type of business, you know, one plumber, one electrician. Okay, so again, if you're interested in Old West history, I'm gonna sell 3 of my Buck Taylor originals. This is the one it's the smallest one. The other ones are a lot larger. This one is Tombstone. It's signed on the back. I bought it in 2016. Buck was in that movie. These are one-of-a-kind pieces. You won't. Nobody else will have one in their house, I can assure you. And then the other 2 pieces. One is called Gunsmoke, and that has all of the Miss Kitty, Matt, Sam, Doc, and Buck. And then the other one is Wagon Train. It's beautiful. So, serious inquiries only. These are not prints. They're not cheap. But they're history, I'll tell you that. And like I say, I've got photos of it. They're signed on the back and dated. The legend lives on. He's 80. How old is Buck? 86 or 83? Let me look. Buck Taylor. Buck he was born September 11th. Wow. Can you believe that? He was born on 9/11, 1940. So that's 85 years old. He'll be 86 this September. He was born on 9/11. He's never told me that story. Buck and I go way back 40 years. What a great guy he is. He lost one of his sons. His sons were all stuntmen, and one of them he lost. He graduated from UCLA art. I know that. I remember him telling me that. He is that him? No, that's another guy. I was going to say, I don't think Buck was in the military. Oh no, that's not. That's another guy that was born on September 11th. I put down Buck Tyler. I was going to say, he would have told me that. He was born May 13th, 1938. "86 years old. He'll be 87 in a couple of months. He was born in Hollywood. His daddy, Dub Taylor, did over 400 movies. A bunch of them were not talkies before they had talkies, you know. Children, Coop. I've met Coop, Matthew, Adam, and Tiffany. We used to call his daddy Cannonball. Western Heritage. So when you buy one of these 3 pieces from the Fort Worth Memories Museum, you're buying history. And like I say, there's no other ones nobody else will have it. Signed originals. Y'all seen all the pictures. He's been to my detail shops for years. 30 years, 35 years. Newly O'Brien. Goldie is a barrel racer. She was. Judy Nugent was his first wife, and she was an actress. She died of cancer at her Montana ranch. That was Buck's daddy's Montana ranch. She died in 23 at 83, October 26th. Judy Nugent. I'm going to check something out real quick. She played in movies with Elvis. I thought. Let's see what Wikipedia has it. Career, filmography. Well, she was in a bunch of movies. But I don't see where she did. I know who told me that story. I'll have to call him and ask him. Okay, alright, so it is what, 9:30? Y'all holler. Come by, I'll be here all day, or I'll be here till 12. I'll leave here about 12:10. If you need your headlights polished, something quick, I can do it today. I need detail work. I need money coming in. So I gotta keep this thing rolling. If nothing else, come by t-shirts or caps, coffee cups, whatever. Okay, I will talk to y'all. It's a beautiful day outside, man. Wind's not blowing for a change. So, I will see y'all at the lunch. Oh, and I saw that Sandy was on there, so let me do a plug for Sandy. Now, they have, I need to get a new photo with Prissy. Where are they? I know I've got them. Hold on. I don't know why I can't find the Silver Sisters. But Scott, did you take the Silver Sisters off? Maybe they're at the top of that line. Well, I'll find out from Scott and we'll get them. Sandy, what we need is a updated picture with Prissy in it. Because I promise you, I just had it. I don't know why. Oh, maybe, did you send him an updated picture and he hadn't got it on here yet? Alexis Stroud. Because it's not on there. I can't find it.